I hope everyone has found a seat for themselves. All seats are really great. So welcome everybody. Welcome to Yoni Ki Baat. This is Ekjut Theater's fall play, and we are really delighted to present to you a third season, a third year. So let me ask you first one question. How are you all? Good. How are you all, ma'am? Good. Does anyone ever say, hey, I'm crappy, I'm upset, I'm angry, I want to yell at you? Do you ever hear this from anyone? Yes. That's really awesome, because Yoni Ki Baat play is about empowerment. There are many topics, there are many taboo topics which people often do not talk about it. And this is a stage where we have 10 fabulous stories with topics which you do not talk about. So for example, if I ask you, how are you? If it's a Yoni Ki Baat story, they'll say, you know what, go to hell. I don't want to talk to you. I have so many issues, I do not know what to do, where to talk it out. So we told them, hey, you have a stage, you have Ekjut Theater's Yoni Ki Baat platform, where you can come and you can literally talk it out. The theme today is storytelling. You'll be finding 10 stories, all with the theme of storytelling. It's different, it could be intimidating, you may not like it, and that's completely fine. If you like it, nod your head. If you don't like it, you can show your expressions. If you hate it, you can still show your expressions. If it affects you, you can still show your expression. If it makes you emotional, show your expression. Because this is what Yoni Ki Baat is. So without further ado, we are going to begin the show momentarily. The show is almost about 120 minutes long, and we have an intermission for 15 minutes. We do ask you to refrain from using your cell phones. Come on, give it a break, man. Yeah, only 60-minute break, right? We don't even ask a lot. Only 16-minute break. Take a break, enjoy the show, and with that I'm going to introduce to you the host for our show. Please welcome Sachin and Nidhi.
Welcome to Ekjut Theater's production, Yoni Ki Baat 2017. Before we begin, a few facts about Ekjut Theater. Established in 2015, Ekjut Theater is currently celebrating its 3rd anniversary. After having multiple performances in multiple cities across multiple states within the United States, Ekjut Theater has also performed in shows across Chicago and in Midwest. The proceeds of today's shows will be going to Sanjeev Me, a non-for-profit organization providing free services. And what is Sanjeev Me? Free services, and we'll be learning more about Sanjeev Me in our acts today. Coming back to Yoni Ki Baat, why is it the Yoni Ki Baat always performed in the month of October? The month of October is chosen to perform Yoni Ki Baat because October month is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. That's the reason Yoni Ki Baat is always performed in the month of October. Moving on to the latest trend that we are seeing, I'm sure most of you would have seen on your timeline on Facebook or on social media, be it Twitter or Instagram, the 2-word phrase which is trending of late, Me Too. Good. Me Too. Me Too. Me Too.
Yes, me too. I'm sure half of the audience here would agree with me or will know the word Me Too. How we tend to keep quiet, how we tend to keep silent, how we avoid the talk. Do you agree? Yes. Hello everyone. A very warm welcome to one and all on this evening of Yoni Ki Baat. We are all here because we know if we does not talk about it, it does not mean it does not exist. It is still there, near us, everywhere. There is still this hesitation when we say this word aloud, yoni or vagina. So Moving on, we are glad you all are here for Yoni Ki Baat.
Yoni Ki Baat. Ew. Oi ma. Hey Ram. Yoni Ki Baat koi karta hai. That's the expression that you get when you hear the words Yoni Ki Baat. Yoni literally stands for abode or the source of life on this earth. Coming up are 10 different stories, 10 different perceptions, 10 different takeaways, and thousands of thoughts that are going to linger on you even after you leave this place. And out of these 10 stories that are being performed today, 7 of them are conceived and written and experienced by the women in Chicagoland area.
It's very unfortunate to know that there is so much abuse near us. So we are bringing here today 10 different stories, and moving on, I'm sure you all have heard this song, I'm in love with the shape of you. Yes? But nobody ever sang a song which says, I'm in love with the shape of me. It's rarely seen that people are in love with their body. We all grew up in between. Hey, look at you, you are so skinny, you should eat better. Hey, fatso, or, you should go to the gym, look at your belly. So, these are very common phrases that we hear around us. And bringing to that, I am bringing another story, our first story in front of you all, from Sonal.
Let's see what Sonal has to tell us about the shape of me. This is Sonal's, her own personal story, and of course, enacted in her own style. Do I even look good? Her story on the woman type is a true portrayal. Why do we worry about shape? Look for looking good, for impressing others, or maybe something else. Let's see what Sonal has to say, presenting the shape of me.
For the way I looked, especially by lovely aunties from the neighborhood who would always tell me that I looked better in a salwar suit, especially the ones that had a dupatta. It took me a little time to realize why they were commenting the way that they were. And then one day it hit me. Of course! It's because of this. I started hating the way I looked. My inappropriately large breasts were always a topic of conversation for them. I'm sure she encourages a lot of guys to date her. Not just date her, Mrs. Gupta. Also fool around with her. I overheard them say that about me. And at that point, all I wanted to do was scream, "Stop!" But I didn't. Just like we girls are taught, I kept quiet, thinking, I won't let this affect me. But it was too late. My disgust for my own body was growing. And that resulted in a series of diets, strict diets, of course, about which nobody knew. Thankfully, the only sane voice in my life, my mother, she would tell me, "Beta, don't worry about what these women have to talk about. They have nothing better to do than trying to comment on the way that you look or you dress up. She would say. It took me a lot of time to get over this, oh, I am fat, hence useless feeling. But to make things worse, my so-called friends and some of my didis would say, so what if you have bigger boobs? Your husband is going to be a very lucky man. Really? All I could hear at that point and think was, don't worry, if you are the way you are, you will at least be useful to someone. How demeaning. Why are we as a society so focused on objectifying women? Well, on the one hand, the whole world is talking about women empowerment. But on the other, we'll never fail to criticize a celebrity when she becomes fat. The reason being, she just gave birth to another human being. Can we just, for once, focus on what is important and quit being hypocrites? As I became more worldly wise, I thought, should I really function the way this narrow-minded society wants me to function? So what if I don't conform to the ideal body type? Does that make me any less of a human being? Do I have to look like a celebrity in order to prove my worth to people? I don't think so. And by the way, where are these standards written? Who makes these standards? All around us, women as well as men, they struggle to conform to these body standards. This whole notion of one must look a certain way to prove their worth is quite honestly very paralyzing for everyone. As teenagers, it is ingrained in our heads that we must look a certain way to feel desirable. And then we wonder why our kids have serious eating disorders. Even though I'm a confident woman now, but my struggles with body image are still there. Looking at myself 10 times in the mirror, looking at every photograph of mine and criticizing myself, yes, I go through that too. I know I've learned over the years that I am much more than my body. I'm an intelligent, well-spoken woman who knows my shit. So, I know that I can laugh at myself at times. But if anyone meets me, they will remember me, not for the way that I look, but for the bright, funny, and smart woman that I am. And well, as my Yoni says, if you don't think I'm appealing enough, well, then you don't deserve my love.
That was a wonderful portrayal of the thoughts that I'm sure half of the women or men sitting here would be going on in their everyday life. Moving on, we are bringing 4 artists in our next story: Jasmine, Rashmi, Ulka and Manoj. This upcoming story is written by Jasmine herself.
So how do we get along with generations? The generation gap that we usually refer to as Generation X, Generation Y, जनरेशन Z and so on. एक वक्त था जब बेटा बड़े अदब से गाया करता था, पापा कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करेगा, और आज वक्त कुछ ऐसा बदल गया है, times have changed so much that बेटा गाता है, डैडी बोलता गलती है तू मेरी, तुझ पे जिंदगानी गिल्टी है मेरी. Or when we talk about generation gap, everyone, each and every one of us have always experienced that relative, that neighbors of ours, that auntie, that tau, that chacha, who always have fairy tales to start. They always start with हमारे ज़माने में
ऐसा होता था, आपके ज़माने में, हमारे ज़माने में ये किया था.
And the story goes on. So how do we cope up with the generation gap? Coming up next is our next story, presenting The Butchered River.
butchered your face like that?
No, they numbed my face first. And what do you mean they butchered my face? It's my face and I think I'm wicked. Like a rebel. With a cause.
God.
Look around you, Aisha. The world we live in. Do you not at all see what is happening? The ruling class are destroying our planet. Our rights are getting stripped away every day. Something has to be done.
Okay, so this look you've got going on, it's like a rebel's uniform.
No, I just like wearing black and having needles stuck in my face. Yes, in a way. What are you doing?
I'm checking my email.
Seriously?
Okay, sorry. You know, no one's going to believe me when I tell them. Poor mom.
Here she is. Please help her.
What the heck? Auntie, you weren't kidding, were you? I don't know how I can help with this. I'm studying to be an animal behaviorist. It's not even relevant to our animal.
Hi, I'm Aisha.
Not her. Sunny is a doctor.
Animal behaviorist, actually.
He is here to help you. He wants to talk to you alone. Aisha, let's go. No, Mom.
I've never seen a Desi goth before. You know, personally, I think you look pretty awesome. That reminds me. Have you heard that fab song by Yo-Yo Chini Singh? Blue ball hypnotized baby. So, Laila, what thoughts are going on in your head exactly right now?
You really want to know? Sunny, is it?
Yes.
Therapy is over. Ooh, I feel so good.
God bless you, beta.
I gotta get going, Auntie. Me's waiting for me at home.
Nah, you must wait. Layla is best child in the world. After all, you are the one who saved my daughter's life. Any special girl in your life?
No.
What? Wait, so soon? Coffee.
Strange man. But I will be always grateful to him.
For what, Mother? Our world isn't the same when you were growing up. My generation is standing up, screaming to be heard, to bring about change and peace and love.
I like the love part.
Breaking news. Here at Daily Plaza, the police have apprehended a group of people who call themselves the Rebels with a Cause. One girl with blue hair was seen allegedly grabbing the reins of a police horse, knocking down the officer and galloping off towards Michigan Avenue while shouting, "We are free, rise up with us and break the chains of oppression."
Layla! Where is your sister? Where are you going? Pagal ladkis?
Remarkably, the blue-haired individual on the horse rode up to the railing on the bridge and then jumped and landed on a city tour boat filled with foreign dignitaries. Her identity is not yet known. So far, no injuries have been reported and the police are conducting a massive search as we speak.
Mom, before you say anything, I may have gone about it the wrong way.
You think?
I don't understand you. I no longer have a daughter. She's gone.
I have to stand up for what I believe in. I have to or I'll die.
the police!
I guess I shouldn't have uploaded it on Facebook Live.
That was a small portrayal of the generation gap in today's society. Coming up next is the story, Why Me? A true story of a woman from Chicago, written by Varsha. Varsha is being supported by Shubhankar in this portrayal of marriage.
Marriage is about two people coming together. And is the attraction between the two people, between the couple, is it mutual or maybe not? Let's find out in Why Me? Finding Answers.
Hi, I'm Anamika. Age 35. Marital status? Divorced. For last 5 years, I have been asked only one question. What was the reason for the divorce? Until now, even if I want to cry out loud and tell the world my story, I couldn't. But today is the day. I want to get it out to live my life normally again. It was nothing but a horrible dream. No. It's not what you think. No dowry, no physical abuse, and no other woman. Or should I say, I was a strong, determined girl. Had a wonderful childhood in a modern Bengali family. Me, my supportive parents, and my little sister. Our happy-go-lucky family. After graduation, I got a very good opportunity here in the US to do my postgrad. But still having someone by side or getting married was never on my mind. तो मिला नहीं या फिर कभी ढूंढा ही नहीं. And there I was, in for the marriage proposals at the age of 30. I knew what I wanted. A life partner who is just like me, happy-go-lucky. I met few, but this was different. What I liked most about him was not trying to be intimate like other guys, trying to check you out on all compatibility tests. He was different. After 3 months of courtship here in the US, I got married to a so-called perfect man of my life. Somehow we decided to do our honeymoon after coming back to Chicago. I liked his thoughtfulness for letting me live with my parents for a few more days after my marriage. At least I thought so. I was so much into my fairy tale. I kept dreaming about our first night. Finally, we came to States. I was so excited to be at my own home. My own home. Days passed by without any excitement from his side though. I wondered, am I the one expecting too much? Or is it the films to blame for not to be real? My friends were teasing me, but I never got that magical feeling of newly married. So yes, I was scared of being too aggressive in my physical emotions of romantic intimacy. He was nice otherwise. So yes, I used to think that I'm expecting too much and I tracked that feeling for almost a year now. I never felt loved enough. My physical, emotional needs never ever cared for. He kind of ignored me. Or really speaking, avoided me for some reason which I didn't know. Where was that intimacy? That fairy tale, that love, that cuddliness, those hugs and kisses from my dreams? I can never forget. There it was, our first anniversary. He was so busy as usual, but didn't forget to buy me the gorgeous gifts and flowers. I made him a nice candlelight dinner. He knew what I was expecting, but same cold shoulder. He went to his den to attend a so-called important overseas meeting, promising me to finish it as soon as possible. A thought crossed my mind to surprise him with a dessert. So I tried to open the den door. To my surprise, he forgot to lock it today. So I tiptoed and was behind a chair.
Why are you here?
And there it was, on his screen. All the answers to my questions for last whole year. But my doubt was right. He was looking at porn. But wait, not the usual one. It's all naked men. Yeah, he was gay. Why? What is happening to me? Every human being has his own rights to follow his inner self. Nothing wrong with it. Being gay is an instinct. But why me? What about me? What am I doing in this whole picture? Why did he marry to me then? Just because he was pressurized by his family and didn't have the courage to tell them the truth? Why? Why me? Why I was victimized in all this? Even after all the revelations, I pleaded him to stay together. I was so scared of being thrown out in this orthodox society. Being not straight was not his fault. But involving me in his life due to his incompetency was. The guilt of ruining my life didn't allow him to see me anymore. And I got divorced. What was my fault? All I wanted was my family. My own family. It's been so many years now. But still I can't trust anyone. Not even myself. How I can feel that manly touch the same way a normal woman would. How? Today I knew that I have found my answers.
There are many men and women out there who always question why me. ऐसा मेरे साथ क्यों? Why just me? Following one's sexuality, accepting the way they are, letting them live the life the way they want to live, is one of the many stands that society has to adopt. Marriage, marrying someone, or forcing someone into a marriage for the sake of society, for the sake of procreation, will lead to nothing but disaster.
Maya Angelou, who doesn't know? a very famous author, has written a very famous book. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, a title which resonates in the mind of millions of women across the globe. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. This famous author has also been a very good storyteller, activist, poet, autobiographer. Has written a very beautiful poem, Phenomenal Woman.
Phenomenal Woman. Coming up next is a dance interpretation of this famous poem, Phenomenal Women, choreographed and enacted by Sonali and vocals by Julie.
Many people wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. I walk into a room, just as cool as you please, and to a man, the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes, the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist, and the joy in my feet. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say, it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breasts, and the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heel, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, and the need of my care. 'Cause I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's your mothers, and my grandmother, and your grandmothers, and my great-grandmothers, and your great, and all you wonderful women out there, and me. Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds, try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears, go ahead, release your fears, stand up and be counted, don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser, you gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger, you gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day.
All women are phenomenal, but we as a society have a little tough time accepting that, encouraging that, nurturing that thought. Instead, women face violence, and the violence on women starts nowhere else but at their own home.
Domestic violence. Let me ask you a question, or rather state a fact. Every 9 seconds in the United States, a woman is assaulted or beaten. Every 9 seconds. Around the world, at least 1 in every 3 women, mark my numbers, at least 1 in every 3 women has been beaten, coerced into sex, or otherwise abused during her lifetime. Most oftenly, the abusers are from her family itself.
What is she? Let's see this tale of Jayashree, a domestic violence survivor herself, in her own story, her own experience. Supporting actors include Shubhankar and Lakshmi. Glitches do happen in the technical world, we all have heard about it. But what kind of glitch did Jayashree has to face? Let's hear in this next upcoming act.
I love saris. I really do. I have a closet full of saris that I've collected for the past 15 years or so. But it was just a few years ago when I came here to this country as a young bride to a new man with tons of dreams and excitement.
He was different, as I discovered each day. I loved my husband, but something did not look right.
And then it started. The abuse. Every day. Mental abuse, physical torture, leaving behind bruises all over my mind and body. And then one day in the kitchen.
What are you cooking?
Your favorite, of course.
What? What is this? What do you do all day? Can't you even cook a meal after I come back from work?
I'm sorry. I love. What can I make for you right now? Oh, stop. Stop right now. You take one more step and I will call the cops. Mind you.
I'm sorry, baby. Please come to me. I love you. I really do. Come to me.
His love was different, and I was still trying to figure it out. And one day, I found out I was pregnant. The epitome of womanhood. But was I really happy? I was married for 3 years, and yet I wanted an abortion.
You want an abortion? Shame on you being a woman!
I do not want to raise a child whose father swings between love and hate each time, every day.
You are a disgrace to womanhood. You serve only one purpose, and you stink at that too.
See? How could I tolerate all this? I went ahead and had the abortion. Me, who wanted the baby. And now, the baby was just gone. Eight years had passed, and there were some good days that I really thought he had possibly changed. So I decided to have a baby and was now 7 months pregnant. Will the sun ever shine?
I want to let you know, you have to change. We are going to be parents.
Change? I'm absolutely fine. It's you who needs this change. Do what I say, else neither of you will survive.
Now you want to harm my child? I will protect this child.
2 months gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. But I still had no one to talk to. To the outside world, he was the perfect man, trying to protect me. But once we were inside the confines of our house, he just changed. Like a leopard, like a chameleon, like a hypocrite. He did not even like me making any friends. My phone was tapped, my email was tracked, and the Wi-Fi was disconnected.
No, I decided to be the technical glitch in his plan. I got myself a secret email ID and a second phone.
And then, my in-laws came to stay with us. And one day, as I was feeding my baby girl, my father-in-law tiptoed and sneaked up behind me. And when I told my husband about it,
Not a word. Keep your mouth shut.
that was a nightmare. And then we had a little creature come to live with us. A cute little puppy. Some comfort.
Tommy, come, let's go for a walk.
Where are you going? Come back, will you? What do you see in this dog? The house is so dirty. Have you done the chores? You dog will remain a damn dog. Who cares if you shit or not?
Tommy, where are you? Tommy. Oh no, what have you done to the dog? You have no sense. You really do not. I must take care of this dog.
And with the secret email ID that I had created earlier, I finally filed for a divorce. He should be receiving the papers any time now.
You want a divorce? What have you been doing behind my back? I will not spare you.
He tried to prove me mad. He could not. He ran away to India. I finally got the divorce. I am on welfare now, but I'm happy.
Very happy.
My little daughter knows all about this. It has been 4 years since he has either contacted my daughter or sent us any money. But we are happy.
Very happy. And today, I must celebrate my divorce. I'll wear one of my most beautiful saris and celebrate my divorce. Oh no, what has he done? He's put glue on all of them. He had to destroy it. Oh no. What is this? Oh, this is my sari. Now I can wear it in a different way.
When life gives lemons, one must make lemonade out of it.
What you have just witnessed was a true experience of Jayashree and is a true story written by her. All what you have seen here did actually happen in reality. A domestic violence survivor. 60 of her saris were damaged and Sanjeev Me helped them repurpose.
The scarf shown in the play was actually one of a sari that was repurposed by Sanjeev Me. One tip for all of us as a society: if you see anyone who's facing domestic violence and are not able to communicate or by any external force are binded, you can always just mark a black dot on your palm and convey it to anyone. This black dot on the palm is basically a message by a domestic violence abuser that they are not able to communicate it to the world. So just notice it whenever it come across to you.
And for those who happen to see such a dark circle on somebody's palm, do understand that the person is a victim of domestic violence and is trying to seek help secretly. Please approach them cleverly without doing any further harm, and or try to reach an organization like Sanjeev Me to help the victim.
At this point here among us, we are lucky to have Anjali from Sanjeev Me. We would like to invite Anjali onto the stage and share a few words.
Hello everyone, my name is Anjali Kare. I am the secretary of Sanjeev Me, the NGO group. So I just want to brief you about the Sanjeev Me. Sanjeev Me is a 501c charitable organization with a tax ID number 8172215. The objective of our Sanjeev Me is to provide outreach service and the first line of action for emotional counseling, guidance in health concerns, prevention of domestic abuse, mental and emotional well-being, and help for those when the things are not as expected for everyone, whether it's the men, women, teenagers, and even the senior citizens. Sanjeev Me, we bring smiles to your lives. This is the mantra of our Sanjeev Me. It is supported 24/7 by more than a dozen of trained volunteers and professionals across our Chicago area. The hotline number is 224-424-0050. Since its inception in 2016, the organization has fielded 80 cases, and out of which 53 cases are this year as yet, and provided directions and resolution to its callers. If you see the number of calls which we have received on our helpline, it has doubled in 2 years, which is quite alarming. And with the help of Sanjeev Me, it opens a platform to identify and voice problems that we face in our day-to-day life by connecting caller with our expert team and with the open discussion with both caller and the experts to find the solution. If you find any of your friend or a family member and they are having problem, please call this hotline number 224-424-0050. And today we have a table for this, and you can just, if you have any questions, you can go and our volunteers are there, they can answer all your questions. So on behalf of the entire team of Ekjut Theater and Sanjeev Me, we welcome you this evening to enjoy, get inspired and empowered by watching these wonderful performances by our artists. So thank you all for taking out this evening and helping our theater and Sanjeev Me. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali, for your words.
The more information is also available in the brochure that was provided during the beginning of the show, and as Anjali mentioned, they also have a table where you can reach out to them for more questions during our intermission that is going to come up shortly.
Moving on, I think we were supposed to have someone here, right?
Yeah.
I was expecting someone, visitor. Where is she?
I was expecting two.
Oh, there she is.
Fine.
I'm fine, thanks so much, Sachin. Thank you, Sachin. I had a long way to go.
Just come down.
Wow, I'm fine. I'm really fine. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for having me here. Thanks so much. Wow, such a beautiful crowd. What an amazing audience. And such beautiful smiles. Can you please smile all? I want to see you all. Can you all give me a big smile? Can you please smile?
22 years, I have been unable to smile. 22 years I have been unable to smile. Won't you ask why? And you know, 98% of the girls in Somalia are unable to smile as well like me. I'm 30 today. 22 years I've been struggling to smile. And this is not new. You must be thinking, smiling is a big deal. It's going on for ages and ages. It's legendary. People never used to talk about it. And it's only recently that it all came into social media that you all started to think about it. So it's time that you listen to me. Not just for the intellectual talk about it. You should really listen to me. My family is a family of herdsmen in Somalian desert. And as a child, I grew up with nature and enjoyed the bounties which it offered me. I was so happy. But the happiness disappeared. By the time I was 6, I realized what it means to be an African female in the country. You see, women are the backbone of the country. They do all the work, but they have no say in decision making. Whom to marry, how to lead their lives, they have no say at all. They have to live in the terrible desperation, passive and helpless manner. In the culture I live in, a girl is considered unmarriageable because they think wisdom dictates there are bad things between the women's legs. A woman is considered dirty, oversexed, and simply unmarriageable because or until those dirty parts are cut. The dirty parts are clitoris. They cut it out and then they sew the wound. Small. Imagine in your homes, in your fancy homes in the US, you have an overflowing drain where it is small. Why they do it? We do not know. I asked my mom about it. She kept silent. My mom, the reason for it. I remember that day very clearly. I was playing outside the hut in my house. I was 8 years old. And my mom, my aunt, and my family came and asked me, come, Baris, we are going to take you to eat ice cream. Who says no to an ice cream? Will they? Oh, hey, kiddo.
Hi.
What's your name?
I'm Shabana.
That's really nice. And what is this?
This is my toy.
And where are you going?
I'm waiting for Ami. She's taking to eat ice cream.
Oh, Shabana, are you from the Bohra community? They live in Gujarat?
Yes.
And I think you live in Detroit also?
Yes.
And I think you live in Chicago also?
Yes.
Wow, and your parents are here? Your
Yes.
family is here?
Ami is coming. Ami, let's go.
Where are you going?
Eat ice cream.
Ice cream?
Amma, I'm going to eat ice cream.
Oh, ice cream? That's nice.
Please take it.
What's happening?
Ami,
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
No, Amma, no.
Wait.
No.
Help her. She's crying.
No.
Oh my God. What's happening? What's happening? then I became pregnant. How nice. But 30 hours of labor. My child could not pass through. It could not come in. There was no space for my child to come out. A violation, rights violation for my boy. This happens every minute for millions of girls in India, in the Middle East countries, in Africa. And why go so far? It happens here in Chicago. Yes, it happens here in Chicago. I came running to help. I could not help poor Shabana. I wish I could. It's very difficult to slay traditions. So difficult to slay traditions. What is easy? To slay the girl. And you do it for the sinful part. And the sinful part is this piece of meat. And in your language, in Hindi and Urdu, what do you call it? Haram ki boti. Right? Get rid of the haram ki boti. No, this is not haram ki boti. This is a part of me. It's part of who I am. You cannot take it. No matter what everyone says or what it is said, it is part of me. It's part of me, every virus and every Shabana and every 8-year-old who is screaming for.
ये किसी इंसान का खून नहीं, इंसानियत का खून है. What you have witnessed is not a blood of a human being. This is the humanity bleeding.
What a sad reality and a very disturbing story, enacted by Pramila and Rashmi.
And at this juncture, we will take a short break. We have water and some refreshment in the lobby, and we'll be meeting here again in 15 minutes. See you all in 15 minutes. Yoni Ki Baat
Society that has to come together. They have come together. Sorry, very well.
Welcome back, Yoni Ki Baat 2017 once again. Ekjut Theater production presents Yoni Ki Baat 2017. Coming up next is a true story by Anna and will be enacted by Tanvi, Catherine and supported by Manoj.
Refugees. Did we ever meet them? Did we ever talk to them? Or hear their story? Do we care about them? Have you ever read a story about a refugee in any of the books? Do we know what it means to be a refugee? Let's see.
Your version of humanity And that makes you look away. War has taught me to recognize this deafening silence of approval. You fight the war for land and resources under the guise of righteousness. I refuse to go home. You failed. I survived. We are in Gaza today. I was in Sarajevo yesterday. We saw them. They passed the Zetra and the stadium, and they are coming this way. He informed us. The Sarajevo police, joined by a few local gangs and volunteers, are trying to push them back. They are outnumbered. Ola and I looked at each other, very aware of the stadium. 15 minutes, tops. We must run, now. Already hearing reports and first-hand accounts of atrocities that included rape and murder in the fallen territories. This new information created chaos and overall panic within our building. For some, screaming and crying came naturally. Others stood silent, their faces pale and sweaty, only lit by the flickering of the candlelight. I stood in the doorway, looking at Mama and Ola. Suddenly, I'm jolted out of my silent state of panic by Ola, who has grabbed my hand and is pulling me towards the stairs. Fuck this shit. Following my sister, I began to run upstairs. We ran together, 3 stairs at a time, a ritual we never gave up on since we were little girls. Where are we going? Don't you hear the grenades? We should not be here! I yelled to Ola, who waved me off as she stormed inside our house. I will not sit in the basement like a fucking lamb right before a slaughter. Fuck them! And fuck the war! I'll not let them decide how to kill me! I will do it myself before I let them get to me! She was screaming. Red-faced and hurried, Ola violently opened the medicine cabinet in the kitchen, shaking out each and every bottle of pill that she found into a large plastic bag. Her actions spoke of her plan wordlessly. My 14-year-old, tough-as-nails sister was planning for us to kill ourselves. Ola frantically opened all of the drawers in the kitchen, grabbing all the steak knives, a meat cleaver, and a meat tenderizer. Here, hold this, she shoved the bag of pills into my hands. Collect what you can find. I know there's some more stuff in the bathroom. There is no way this is going to kill us! I yelled after Ola, who had gone. I followed the sounds of banging and crashing all the way into the bathroom, where I found Ola standing on a toilet, trying to reach a bottle of nail polish remover and swabbing alcohol. Where is our father when we need him? I wistfully thought to myself, thinking about father's medicine chest that could ensure our quick demise. Yeah, no shit. His blood pressure medication, immune
immunosuppressants, and God knows what other kidney crop disease he has, would be so good right now. Oh, I got it. Okay, let's see what we can do. Ola mumbled as she ran into the hallway with her armful of weapons. We lied on the cold tile floor, and only lit by our flashlight, we began to sort through all of our bounty. We collected every single pill we could find and put it into one giant bag and began to crush it with the meat tenderizer. But these pills will only make us ill, but they will not kill us, I repeated to Ola, who was busy smashing and crushing the pills with short and stubborn jerks of her hand. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. We'll drink it with the nail polish remover and the rubbing alcohol, and we'll do it like that. I began to laugh in panic, realizing that everything was out of our control, even the ability to control our own death. As I laughed and cried, Ola still spoke of her plan to defend us with the steak knives if dying was slower than anticipated. I watched her, this bony, small-framed girl, whose feistiness was legendary in our neighborhood. She was so focused on the task in front of her that she failed to see the futility and comedy in her endeavor. I loved her so much in that moment that even the possibility of a gruesome torture and death could not spoil the pristine honesty of love and devotion illuminated by her protectiveness. After my escape from the besieged city of Sarajevo in 1995, first to a refugee camp, and then to reunite with my husband, Bill, in Chicago. It's then when I started experiencing my first signs of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Yes, PTSD. It began with my inability to fall asleep. And on those rare nights where I was able to release myself to the comfort of non-thinking, I would suddenly wake up and scream, "Ah! Ah! Ah! Ah!" Drenched in sweat, unable to breathe fully for the weight of panic I felt threatened to crush my chest. I would blindly roam the roofs of my apartment from left to right until Bill's gentle touch would comfort me and let me know that I was safe. Yes, yes, I was safe. For the most part, the narratives of these nightmares would remain invisible to me. However, the fear and trauma that they left behind would not subside. They would not subside for a very long time, releasing the same kind of adrenaline rush that I had experienced daily during the time of war. For those first few years after the war, I was acutely aware of everything in my environment. Any sudden loud noise would make me freeze and feel bile rising in my throat. I constantly scanned my surroundings, looking for convenient hideouts in case of sniper fire or a potential mortar attack. I kept 3 bottles of water full at all times by my bed in preparation for a possible water outage. Trips to the grocery store always ended with large amounts of powdered milk and canned goods in my shopping cart. Again, just in case. Apartment searches always centered around following questions. How many possible escape routes were there? Was there at least one room with no windows or doors one could use as a hideout? Was there a sheltered, windowless basement somewhere in the building? All of this, and preferably a ground floor apartment. Please. I have survived, and many more are trying to survive each day. Syria, Bangladesh, Somalia. Please, help them.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. Tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're always a day
It is not about refugees, but it is about humanity. Humanity needs no border. Anna, who was a refugee and now in Chicago, will be sharing her story on our upcoming show in Chicago on November 6th. Moving on, I would like to ask everyone, who does not know Nirbhaya? A very unfortunate incident that happened several years ago. I still get goosebumps to that. But Nirbhaya is every day and everywhere.
Coming up next is a dance portrayal of the same Nirbhaya, brought to us by Surya Dance Academy and its students, choreographed by Gino Burgess.
cruel side of human behavior. A beautiful flower has been stomped upon. Her hopes and dreams are crushed. Her anguish cries could reduce the whole world to ashes.
What a wonderful performance by Surya Dance Academy and the kids. Here comes our next story. A true story of a single mom. Everyone knows it's not easy in this society to raise a child by a mother herself. So let's see what are the challenges that comes with it.
This story is by one of the guests who are here with us, among our audience, among our guests, and have preferred to stay anonymous. So we respect that privacy. We just want to let you know that this story is a true story written by somebody who is sitting here among us in the audience, in our guests. And this story is going to be enacted by our debut actresses, Nitika and Abhilasha. Does life give second chances? Why is it important to take chances? Let's find out from Nitika and Abhilasha.
God, what is this life? Worthless. Nobody cares and it's the end. What do I
for the past 10 days. And she's the luckiest girl. No one else gets to eat ramen noodles every day for breakfast, lunch and dinner. When did she grow up so fast?
So, was it easy? Do you want to know what happened next?
Good morning, Sheriff. Why, of course, I paid the rent. Oh, I'm sure there must be some mix-up in the mail. Oh, no, there is no need for notice of eviction. Oh, there must be some misunderstanding. There has been no misunderstanding. I lost my job yet again for the 3rd time in 2 years. And this has been going on for 2 weeks now. Where do I take this little girl? What should I do? What the fuck? What's the other way to get the money for the rent?
What did I do? Can you believe this?
Pat Singh, yes. Let me call Pat Singh. He brought me flowers and the new boots on the 2nd date. And he said he will take me to London. What fun! Not fun. He passed out before anything. So what? He's perfect. And he says, marriage. And he has a car business. Well, not his own, his dad's. So what? My Susie's life will be all set. Chalega? Huh? And then, oh, there is Jane. He said he would give $500 for each drink and few boob grabs. And if I see him once every week, that will be $2,000. See, that will take care of 2 months of grocery and rent. I will figure out something by then. Oh, wait, there's a newspaper guy. And he said he would give me $1,000. And if I see him twice a month, that will be all good. Oh, it will be all good for my little girl, Susie.
So, did I do it? No, never. I will never. I did let them touch me. That's all. I have always stayed strong, but was ready for all. You see, for my baby. When I was growing up, I never wanted to be a mom who latchkey child. Susie will be anything like me. Anything. Surprise. You'll say, I'm crazy, right? To give a kid a cell phone? But that was not luxury, mind you.
Luxury? Where? Susie is home alone, but mommy is close. Here's the new cell phone. Be brave, my baby. Drive to work. And child is ready to go to school alone and walk home alone. Wow, honey. You will be the only 8-year-old who has a cell phone. Do not tell anyone, okay? Only you, me, and Aunt Jane. It is our secret. Not even Daddy. Okay? I can do daytime daycare and few nights Uber. And tell Susie, do not tell anyone. It is our secret. And then, few dance gigs. Not consistent. It's fine. It's safe.
Single moms have tough job raising a kid all by themselves. And my parents, oh, they are lying, don't get me wrong.
Oh, it's Baba. Wait, no. Don't answer that phone. Otherwise, Mom will always be the same. How I shouldn't have left Raj. Wapas aaja ladki. Don't be an embarrassment to your dad. So what? If your husband beats you, he's your husband. Can't you tough out for your daughter? That is the real woman. I left him. And if I pick up that phone, Mom will remind me how much money I borrowed from her. Who is going to marry your sister? Blah, blah, blah. All your fault. All my fault.
Can't forget that morning when I was driving to take her. It was 8 a.m. It is so clear.
Call from school? Holy crap! It's happening! Latchkey could go south? Cigarettes? Is she skipping school? My baby first! It's 7 a.m. and I'm late for work. Down 94 traffic, too heat, come on, exit. Latchkey could go south. Cigarettes? What? Pick up the phone. Calm down, pick up the phone. Hello?
Hello, Miss A. Just wanted to let you know that Susie has achieved high honors roll and has been asked to attend the state ceremony.
Fast forward to present day. High school graduation. A valedictorian. Best in debate. Admissions to top 3 Ivy League colleges. Best all-rounder. Best athlete, and the list goes on and on and on. I'm so proud of my little girl, who is such a fine young woman now. Second chances
are
possible.
You can
and you will if you just try. Thank you.
যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, তবে একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে। যদি কেউ কথা না কয় ওরে ওরে ও ভাগা, কেউ কথা না কয়। যদি সভায় থাকে মুখ ফিরায়, সভায় করে ভয়, তবে পরাণ খোলে ও তুই রক্ত মাখা চরণ তলে একলা দোলনে।
Ekle chalo re. You should not fear to walk alone. Moving on. Does life give enough second chances? No, right? Things are not always in the place, but it is up to us to bring them in place. It's up to us, and I'm sure we can do it. You can do it. Moving on. Do you know a person who works round the clock, 7 days a week, 0 salary and vacations? Of course, it's mother, moms, mommy, mama. You can call her by different names, but what she seeks is same. Love and respect in return.
Coming up next is this beautiful portrayal of motherhood by Riddhi and Shailaja. an untold story and untold worship. Let's hear from Riddhi and Shailaja, Motherhood.
It starts with fucking in most cases. And in most cases, it ends with fucking. Fucking losing your goddamn mind. I should have known that motherhood was not going to go according to expectations based on my labor experience alone. I spent 9 months preparing for this birth. Rather, my birth menu. It is actually 10. Nobody tells you about it. Chocolate for endorphins, dates to release oxytocin, chai and dates for relaxation, mangoes for pleasure, panjiri to stimulate milk production, and of course, mithai, because who needs an excuse for a mithai? So true. Once labor got started, a few hours after vomiting my way through each contraction, my dreams of a perfect laddu-laden birth went out the window or down the toilet rather. After 14 hours of non-stop puking, I finally decided that I was going to get sweet, sweet epidural. So 14 hours later, I was getting that good stuff. Oh my God. It was amazing. I could feel everything. Except my uterus, of course. But seriously though, you know what? Right after that epidural, for the very first time, I could actually feel excited about the fact that I was about to meet my son. And without the pain of labor, I could transition into my new role of motherhood. So long story short, I gave birth to a beautiful, healthy baby. And then, my boobs went on a strike. Like no breastfeeding. Hey, come on. Isn't that the most natural thing to do on the planet? Right? And by the way, I was supposed to be this fertile, brown girl, panjiri-eating, milk-producing goddess of some kind. And my boobs go on a strike. You know what? It was painful and miserable. And worst of all, I felt like a complete failure. I mean, the one small job I had of feeding my kiddo, and I could not even do that right. You know how the moms talk? Oh, you're giving formula? I only give breast milk. You know why? Because my doctor told me for the first 6 months of the baby's life, you should only give breast milk. It's very good for the brain development of the child. Brain development. Then what do? I said, okay, fine. I'm going to buy a breast pump. I get a breast pump and I make a tiny. Every 2 hours pumping. Like a buffalo, I felt. Pumping. No social life, zero. Friends, zero. Husband, get out. And then, what do I get at the bottom? Any guesses? Just 2 drops of breast milk. You know how I felt? I was devastated! You know why? Because for the very first time in my life, for the very first time, I felt so less of a woman. I did. I wanted to die. I cried. And I cried. I cried when my husband wasn't watching. I cried when my child was quietly reading. I cried at the grocery store while driving. I was miserable. I realized, and thank God I realized, that my worth as a mom was not measured in ounces of breast milk or otherwise.
You know what? Being the food-obsessed person that I was, I naively thought that I could eat my way through labor. I have eaten my way through painful life experiences before. Labor was no different, right? It did not help that my pregnancy app used food to describe my baby. Your baby is the size of an apple this week. He is the size of a banana. People would stop me and ask me how far along I was, and I would say, I have no idea, but I know that he is the size of a mango. Back in the old country, all these aunties that we both love and dread, they are there at your service, taking care of your postpartum self and stuffing you silly with all those yummy treats. There is community support for weeks, if not months on end. Here, I was told in my birth classes that all I needed to survive motherhood were 2 things: boobs and a car seat. Well, thank God the car seat worked. Boobs, car seats. What you need is a village. It is so damn true. In our hyper-teched-up, fast-paced modern world, our village of Facebook friends and Instagram buddies are not enough to help us sustain through this monumental task of early motherhood. No wonder these new moms go through so much of postpartum depression and adjustment. No one talks about it. No one, especially in our community, where motherhood is the penultimate female experience, a badge of pride and honor, a fulfillment of some kind of spiritual duty, and yada, yada, yada.
Well, no one tells you that having a child is actually like an arranged marriage. The love and bond slowly builds up. But you're like two practical strangers. Sure, I felt your kick around my belly. Sure, I have the urge to protect you, but you are still a stranger to me, and I have to sleep next to you every single night.
When I gave birth, I realized why all our aunties and ummies want so badly for us to become moms. I thought that they wanted grandbabies to dote on. That's not the truth. They want you to suffer. They want you to feel like assholes.
After I gave birth,
I so badly wanted to go back in time and literally kiss the ground my parents walked on. I finally realized what a hell I put them through, and they made it seem so easy. Oh my Allah, it is so fucking hard.
well, when I gave birth, it was a life and death experience. I gave birth to my beautiful son, but in the same push that brought him out, my previous self died. In my vagina, strangling my old self to make room for this new life. Well, you know what? Something has to give. And most parents, whether they admit it or not, go through a phase of grieving, whether it's grieving the loss of sleep or the loss of freedom. It's disorienting because you're grieving and sleeping all at the same time.
When you give birth, your body opens, and at the same time, it breaks into 1,000 little pieces. When you give birth, love becomes your call, a love that brings with it more compassion.
We are almost reaching the end of these acts. We have 2 more stories to go. In the meantime, I request all the cast to please assemble at the backstage immediately. Moving on, let's talk about love. Love, a wonderful feeling. A gift of nature, free for all. Never gets exhausted. The more you share, the more it grows.
How do we practice love? Let Vidya and Ritu tell us.
My partner sits against the cool side of the shower. Water dripping down her shoulders through her long amber hair. I lean against my knees, facing her. Streams hitting our backs.
And I practice. Whirling her hair along my steady, gentle fingers. So tomorrow, on the patch of grass near a companion, I can brush her hair behind glistening pierced ears. In front of horde of families passing through the tour guides, sneering at our intermixed coffee and creamy legs.
And when a dark-skinned woman with earth-colored eyes and curly black hair glares long enough to feel like my mother, I practice so that I would still put a morsel in my partner's mouth of home-cooked roti and shark, taken from that reused yogurt container my mother crossed into my arms on my last weekend visit home.
Feeling the soft bump of my partner's blueberry nostrils, so I practice. As I squeeze away the image of my mother's eyes glistening, as she hands over me the food, she ties a bracelet around my wrist she brought in a temple in India. Her hands shake in worry. She prays I stay safe, away from men on dark streets and from boys with alcohol in their breath.
And I practice, tracing the long line of chocolate chip moles on my partner's right cheek, so I can erase the image of my grandfather tugging my mother's 10-year-old hands to the dentist office in India. Tears collecting on her chin. My grandfather convincing her that braces would get her an American man, that braces would get her unborn children an American education. Funny how they wanted my mother's teeth straight, but her mouth closed.
And I practice, tracing the faded softness of my partner's eyebrows. So I forget how my 10 years hand used to shake as I held a pitcher of water serving the room of loud Indian men complaining about how America corrupts our women. My mother's eyes widen, warning me to shut my mouth, to pull my cardigan closer, to bow my head, to sacrifice my sexuality for promises of security, as she did all these years.
I watch as my mother rips up my prom invitation, sells sleeves on all my American dresses, cries for me to stay away from wandering eyes of boys and girls. Never once asking if my eyes want to wander too. My mother says gold bangles and Meilley designs for my wedding day. And I learned to confine my love to under-the-table text messages, to late-night whispered phone calls, and to steam-filled showers.
So leaning against the cool side of my shower, I feel the peach-perfect plumpness of my partner's lips. I watch her hair glisten orange, thinking, twirling, how to let myself love her.
Heaven is forming in my body like the lemon-scented shampoo I spread on her sunny shoulders. I run my fingers through her scalp,
her, like my mother used to, on cold winter nights, tucking blankets under my chin. My mother's kisses on my forehead, sinking through my skin, weave themselves into my DNA. My body reproducing these signs of love over and over and over. Recognizing, my mother may not agree with who I love, but she did teach me how to love.
There were some wonderful stories, some serious one, and some funny ones. But चलो बात करते हैं कुछ गरम एहसास की. Let's talk about something hot in here. दिमाग पर ज़्यादा जोर मत डालिए. I'm just talking about food in here. देखते हैं क्या hot पक रहा है.
बस कुछ ख्वाहिशें हैं.
Sachin, I mentioned we are talking about food here.
मैं भी उसी की बात कर रहा हूँ. बस कुछ ख्वाहिशें हैं. अगर गालिब के अंदाज में कहा जाए,
My God.
हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पर जरा वाह वाह तो खींचिए, पढ़ के इसे बोल तो रहा हूँ. हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पर दम निकले. बहुत निकले मेरे अरमान, फिर भी थोड़ा कम निकले.
क्या बात है सचिन. But I was just making sure you're still talking about food, right?
Of course.
Is it hot or spicy?
वो तो खाने के बाद ही पता चलेगा.
Okay, whatever it is, I can't wait. Let's hear from Nidhi and Mohita. खाने में क्या है? Akka, what's for dinner tonight?
दिल ने दस्तरखान बिछाया, दावते इश्क है कबूल तो आजा जाना, दावते इश्क है. दिल ने दस्तरखान बिछाया, दावते इश्क है. दावते इश्क है.
चल बेटा, नहा ली?
हाँ माँ. आज खाने में क्या है?
अरे ये तेरे गले में क्या हुआ?
वो डॉली उसने हार दिया था ना.
ओ वो आर्टिफिशियल होगा. डॉली भी ना जब क्रीम लगा ले. अच्छा बता, तेरी ट्रिप कैसी रही? हवाई बड़ी सुंदर जगह है, मैंने सुना बहुत घूमे.
हाँ, लेकिन हम कमरे से निकले नहीं.
क्यों? ओ हवाई बारिश हो रही होगी ना, बिल्कुल मजा नहीं आया होगा.
मजा हवाई का तो नहीं आया, लेकिन जो आया ना, उसका कोई नाम नहीं होता. जैसे मसाला बनता है धीरे धीरे, शुरुआत की एक्साइटमेंट वाली, फिर उसमें हरी मिर्च डाली, तीखी वाली, सुलगने वाली, अब मसाले में उबले चने मिलाओ और बेसन को मिलाओ. ऐसा मिलाओ कि बस दोनों एक साथ हो जाए. वो एक होकर फुलफिलमेंट वाली फीलिंग होती है ना. और फिर उस लाल आग पर जो सीटी लगती है ना माँ, उसका कोई नाम नहीं पता. कोई नाम नहीं पता.
क्या सीटी लगा रखा है?
मम्मा, आपको क्या लगता है मैं किसकी बात कर रही हूँ?
तुझे ना भूख लग रही है.
मम्मा, रियली आप समझ रहे हो ना मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ? माँ, क्या हुआ?
कुछ नहीं, ये मजा भी ना एक बोनस ही होता है. पर तेरी वो जो फुल
वाली बात है ना, वो कुछ समझ में नहीं आई मेरे। तुम्हारी जनरेशन में होता होगा ये सीटी वीटी वाली बातें।
अब इसमें जनरेशन की क्या बात है?
हमारा समय ना अलग ही था। हमारा ये प्रेशर कुकर वाला प्यार नहीं था कि 4 सीटी लगी उसके बाद ही दाल गले।
मतलब सारी उम्र आधी पकी और कम नमक की दाल से काम चलाना है।
नमक? अरे भाई, जब सारा मेन्यू कार्ड हस्बैंड ही डिसाइड करना है तो मैं नमक कम हो या ज्यादा उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
बस मेन्यू कार्ड हस्बैंड डिसाइड करता है, ये सिर्फ एक औरत ही बोल सकती है। जुबान क्या सिर्फ आदमी के मुंह में होती है? औरत के मुंह में क्या कारपेट बिछा होता है? थोड़ा कुरकुरा, थोड़ा तीखा, कभी खट्टा, थोड़ा मीठा, हर स्वाद का कुछ होना चाहिए पकवान।
पकवान, दावत, अरे भाई, इन सब चीजों के लिए समय किसके पास है? पहले बच्चे पालो, पति को भी संभालो, पूरा घर संभालो। इन सब चीजों के बीच में ना जो मिल जाए वही ठीक है।
तभी तो इंडाइजेशन होती है। अब रोज ये पानी वाली सब्जी बनाओगी तो कोई ताली नहीं बजाएगा, पेट खराब होगा।
कोई पेट खराब नहीं होता, उल्टा शादी के बाद इम्यूनिटी बढ़ जाती है।
इम्यूनिटी बढ़ानी थी तो हॉस्पिटल चले जाते, शादी क्यों की?
तेरा ना हनीमून पीरियड चल रहा है, गरम तवे से सीधे चूल्हे में ही आना है तूने।
चूल्हा? माँ, ये रिश्ता है, इसमें दवाई की बदबू नहीं, पूरी की खुशबू आनी चाहिए।
आनी चाहिए, और खोने में ना जमीन आसमान का फर्क होता है। अरे भाई, जो पकाना है उसका सामान भी तो होना चाहिए ना।
जो सामान है उसी से बनाओ ना, थोड़ा अपनी पसंद का, थोड़ा दूसरे की पसंद का। अच्छा बताओ, जब करेला कड़वा होता है तो ना उसे आदमी खाता है ना औरत खाती है, लेकिन यदि खीर हो तो सिर्फ आदमी क्यों खाए, औरत क्यों ना खाए? वो क्यों ना मजा ले?
क्योंकि यही रिवाज है। हमारी सोसाइटी में ना आदमियों को हमेशा ज्यादा मिलता है और औरतों को कम।
नहीं माँ, सोसाइटी खाना खाने के तरीके बता सकती है, लेकिन किसके पेट में कितना जाएगा ये तो सिर्फ खाने वाला डिसाइड करता है। अब टेबल पर रोज दिन बोरिंग दाल चावल रखोगी तो किसी का क्या पेट भरेगा? जब तक जीरे का छौंक न हो, घी की खुशबू न आए, क्या पेट भरेगा बताओ? और फिर आप ही तो बचपन में कहती थी ना, संतरे का रस पूरी तरह एंजॉय कर, ये बड़े महंगे आते और आपके पास तो पूरा मुद्दा है। ये ऊम की आवाज मम्मा, नो, इसमें हम औरतों की ब्रांड पोजीशनिंग खराब करती है। और भी अच्छी आवाजें निकालने को, जैसे यो, ओह यस, यस, यस। अब हंस भी दो मम्मा, या इसमें भी आपने टैक्स लगा कर रखी है।
हाँ, मुझे भी शुरू कर देना चाहिए। ओह, हाँ, यस, यस, यस।
हाँ, चलो खाना खाते हैं। अरे, फ्राइड भिंडी? लेकिन डैड तो फ्राइड भिंडी नहीं खाते।
फ्राइड भिंडी ना मेरी फेवरेट है। कभी कभी मैं भी डिसाइड कर लेती हूँ।
तो आज का मेन्यू कौन डिसाइड कर रहा है?
आप या आप?